with Donald Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, I first want to play for you something you mentioned before, which was this new ad that you guys have just coming out that will air on broadcast and cable networks in 9 states. Let's take a look at that ad.
In Hillary Clinton's America, the middle class gets crushed. Spending goes up. Taxes go up. Hundreds of thousands of jobs disappear. It's more of the same, but worse. In Donald Trump's America, working families get tax relief. Millions of new jobs created. Wages go up. Small businesses thrive. The American dream achievable. Change that makes America great again. Donald Trump for president.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
So that ad is up and running. You guys are finally on the air after a long time of not being on the air, and yet, you know, we were talking before about the Wiener matter and some other things that seem to you guys seem to get in your own way in some respects. So I want to ask you about Donald Trump's questions about Hillary Clinton's why he's calling on her to release more health records, given the relative transparency on each side. Why raise that issue when A, he's been less transparent than her, and B, this is the issue that you guys want to actually be talking about?
Well, we can walk, chew gum, and juggle all at the same time with the Trump campaign. But look, I don't think we get in our way. I think if people want to cover the ad fairly today, they'll cover the ad. Especially, as you point out, John, those so critical that we had run no ads. I mean, gosh, Hillary Clinton or Super PAC have spent gazillions of dollars, and look at the polls. What has it really gotten them? So we are very happy that this ad will be, actually, we added a 10th state today, Michigan, to the ad buy. And we're happy that it'll be running so that we can make our case to middle-class voters, all voters, about our middle-class tax relief package. And actually, you can compare their two economic plans. I think that you'll find very few issues where they're more at odds, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, with the way they would rebuild the American economy. We'll be talking about energy investments and infrastructure and other things that affect everyday people. In terms of health records, he's just saying, great, more transparency. Let's put them all out there. And he's challenging her to do the same. Why not?
So what are the records he would put out under those circumstances?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I'm not intimately familiar with his medical records, nor should I be. Right. But he's willing to do that. In other words, he has said he's willing to put out his medical records, and she can do the same. And if she doesn't want to, I mean, I know she's in hiding most of the time when she's not giving speeches about him and websites or raising money with her Hollywood friends. So one of these times she comes out of hiding, or somebody, I guess, could send it over to you, the media, if she'd like. Why not put it out there? I think Americans have a right to know.
What are the odds that he'll also put out his tax returns along with his health records? Just one day. Here they are. Here's everything.
Yeah, so he has said, and his lawyers and accountants have said to me, that he shouldn't do that right now while he's under audit. And I defer to them as I defer to his doctor and Mrs. Clinton's doctor to put out her health records as they see fit.
Have you seen Trump's doctor? We showed him in...
I've seen pictures of him. I've never met him. But in any event, I think Mr. Trump would probably say to you, Mike, that I'll put out my taxes after the audit if we can see her 33,000 missing emails.
He's going to Detroit on Wednesday. Saturday.
Phoenix on Wednesday.
Okay, immigration on Wednesday.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
How is he going to... Well, tell us how he intends to clear up the confusion over what exactly is his immigration plan and the 11 million or so people here in this country illegally. How is he going to do that?
You have to watch the speech on Wednesday, and
you can't tease us.
It will be in there. I could tease you. I could say that there are many tenets to his plan, I think, that are incredibly important for everyone to remember. Build a wall, which has been the signature of his campaign since practically day one. That's there. No amnesty, no legalization, no sanctuary cities.
No amnesty.
No amnesty. No sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities have become a very important inflection point in this campaign. In just this last week, Mike, he has stood on stages with Agnes, with Julie, with Laura, with Michelle. These are what we call angel moms. Their children were murdered by illegal immigrants, and they're the faces of our campaign. So he will address sanctuary cities. He will also talk about those who have committed a crime leaving immediately, enforcing the law, and then he will talk about the 11 million, or as he said on a different network last week, it could be 30 million, could be 2 million, we don't know. But look, we don't know what actually happens when you enforce a law because nobody does. In Washington, they just make new laws.
Why can't anybody in the campaign answer the question whether he still is in favor of a deportation?
I've answered that many times. I said that he hasn't talked about that in a very long time.
So is he in favor of it or against it?
He has not talked about that in a very long time. And
you understand
well,
you're still
you have
not,
to wait till Wednesday.
You understand you're not answering the question.
You have to wait till
Wednesday. When you say he's not talking.
But here's the thing: you would never have. The reason you don't invite Robbie Mook on this show, John, to ask him the same question, Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, is because they don't talk about issues. They talk about us. I mean, isn't it a disgrace that the same campaign that refuses to give you the respect and due you deserve as journalists won't hold a press conference, won't go and give speeches about issues, give us the credit we deserve that we actually go into the ring and do that, albeit by ourselves. And by the way, her campaign, her plan on immigration is incredibly coherent. It's scary as heck because she has total open borders, catch and release, sanctuary cities continue, amnesty. I mean, it's really a very radical plan. She's been critical of President Obama. She thinks that he is actually not done enough.
Oh, yeah, and I know you. I just want to ask you this question because you guys both talk about each other, right? You talk about them, they talk about you. So it's not as though either one of the campaigns.
We talk about issues too. They just don't bother.
Yes, but here's the thing: Donald Trump recently has been calling Hillary Clinton a bigot. Has called her a bigot over and over again. What's that word mean?
You know what the word bigot means, and what he said.
I do.
And what he
I
said,
do know what it means.
Right. And yesterday he was called a psychopath by David Plouffe, and he's no. But let's listen. This man is called more names before the sun comes up in the morning.
Presidential candidate. He's called her a bigot on multiple occasions.
What does she call him?
What does he mean when he calls her a bigot?
He's made very clear that the effect of her policies have kept people down who deserve the same opportunities that the rest of us have.
So that's not what a bigot means in any dictionary definition.
What does racist mean? What does it mean for Tim Kaine? It's so beneath him. I know he wants to be the vice president to add to his government resume. But what in the world does he mean by saying KKK and Trump values are the same?
It's an interesting question, but not my question. My question is,
ask him that.
My question is what Donald Trump means when he calls Hillary Clinton a bigot.
And you know what he means because he goes and explains it.
He does not, in fact, explain it at all. What a bigot means is someone who discriminates against a set of people, a group of people.
Right.
So he's claiming that Hillary Clinton is a discriminatory human, right? That's what he's saying. He's saying that he hates certain races. She discriminates in a systematic way against certain groups of Americans.
What he has said, and he had said days before that, John, is that the policies are bigoted, that they hurt people, and that you can't argue with the facts. Everybody wants his campaign to only be about tone and temperament. It's also about facts and figures, and the facts do not help her at all on this question. But I mean, on every network where you appear, he has called everything in the book before the sun rises every morning, and then he says one thing one time, basically the day before she gives an entire speech on the topic, and everybody's hair is on fire. I think the voters can see through that.
One last quick question about facts and figures, and you raised it talking about the angel mothers who you say are the face of your campaign. Is in the immigration speech, is Donald Trump going to put facts and figures to the number of Americans who have actually been killed by people in this country illegally?
He may, but he will certainly have.
How many do you think that is?
I don't know. He certainly will have the facts and figures that attend to this very complex issue, Mike. And look, this is what presidents and leaders do. They talk about issues. They put out plans long before they're elected, so people at least can go ahead and look at them and say, I either like your plan or they don't. And it'd be nice to have a two-way conversation with Hillary Clinton before we get to the presidential debates. Don't you think the voters deserve to have a full and fair discussion on important issues that they tell pollsters, including the Bloomberg poll and the MSNBC poll and the NBC polls, that matter most to them before we get to 3 90-minute debates? Are we really going to wait for the debates to find out what Secretary Clinton thinks on some of these issues? We're going to do it now. We're doing it now. We'll do it Wednesday.
We had a story in the Washington Post. You just mentioned the debates. You had a story in the Washington Post yesterday about the way that the two candidates are going about their debate preparations. Who's going to play Hillary Clinton in your debate prep?
No one, probably.
No one.
No one's been decided right now.
So will you do mock debates like the traditional debate prep style?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, you're talking about everybody for 15 months now has wanted the most unconventional candidate in modern political history to do everything conventionally, and they've assessed him conventionally. They've been wrong every time.
I'm not asking you to do anything in particular. I'm just asking the question: how are you guys going to do debate prep, and is there going to be someone who plays Hillary Clinton?
No one's been chosen to play Hillary Clinton.
So the Laura Ingraham reporting is wrong?
Laura Ingraham is a friend to all of us on the campaign, and she's got a lot to offer. I'm very happy that Laura would give us any type of advice and counsel, given her very busy life and enormous successful
Roger Ailes doing the same
career.
thing?
Playing Hillary Clinton?
No, offering advice.
Now,
and
that would be
counsel.
I hadn't
unconventional
thought of
debate.
that. No. Look, Mr. Trump is preparing for the debates in many different ways. The best way he prepares for debates is two things. The way he prepared for the debates in the primaries, where he took center stage from the very beginning, that first Fox News debate on August 6, 2015, and never left the center, never left the number one position, which is telling you something. Number two, he prepares for these debates by giving his policy speeches. We would expect that that's what's going to be asked in these debates. They're not going to ask, do you think it will rain tomorrow? They'll ask, say, what's your vision for what's next for Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act? How would you destroy ISIS and terrorism? So that's the way he prepares. And I have to say, I think the Clinton campaign's taken a risk by keeping her in so much hiding, because you get good at doing something by practicing and doing it regularly.
Kellyanne Conway, I think actually if you had not become campaign manager, you would have made an excellent stand-in for Hillary Clinton.
You think I'm tough enough?
You would have been fantastic at that.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on
Do
the
it.
show.